Hey everyone, welcome back to Terramata Gardens. Today we're going to be talking about the Harlequin Cabbage Bug. Did you know that during the Civil War, the sudden appearance of these colorful little pests in the Confederate States was so shocking and destructive that it actually sparked a formal accusation that the Union Army had deliberately introduced it as a biological warfare weapon? That's the kind of reputation we're dealing with today. I just found these little troublemakers mating right on my own collard row, and trust me, I've seen them before and I'm pretty sure it's over for my collard crops. These things are native to Central America. The Harlequin bug spread extensively across the southern regions of the United States following the Civil War. It first spread over the southern United States from Mexico shortly after the Civil War. Historically, distribution maps indicated the Harlequin bug was mainly found in the southern states. However, its range has expanded significantly and is now commonly found as far north as Pennsylvania. The Harlequin bug was one of the most destructive insect pests of cabbage and related crops in the United States before the use of synthetic insecticides. And I use neem oil. That's pretty much as far as I go, so they don't really do much, maybe against the nymphs. That's about it. I know my collards are growing. But the Harlequin cabbage bug, also known as the calico bug, firebug, or harlequin bug, is a black stink bug, brilliantly marked with red, orange, yellow, and white markings. Contrary to most North American pentatomids, which are cryptic brown or green, this species is easily recognizable through its orange, white, and black markings. They are small with a shield-shaped body typical of stink bugs. The eggs are black and white, striped, laid in clutches of 12, which means if you found a mating pair, there's a good chance that you'll find their eggs nearby too. Plants commonly attacked by the harlequin bug include such crucifers as horseradish, cabbage, cauliflower, collards, mustard, Brussels sprouts, turnip, kohlrabi, and radish. The species feeds mainly on cruciferous plants, but is known to have over 50 possible host plants. Adults overwinter in loose soil and organic debris, including crop residue from the previous growing season. It is not known to overwinter north of 40 degrees north latitude, and infestations in northern states are likely due to seasonal migration aided by wind currents. Newly hatched nymphs remain near the eggs for a short period before beginning to feed. Nymphs undergo 5 growth stages, with the final stage molting into an adult. Their life cycle is complete between 50 and 80 days. The life cycle requires 1 to several months to complete. From egg to adult, with shorter durations at higher temperatures. 2 to 4 generations per year are possible. The average number of eggs per female reared on broccoli had a hatch rate of 71%, which is exactly why catching a mating pair in your collard row should set off alarm bells. Find 2, and you could be looking at the start of dozens more within weeks. Feeding is accomplished using piercing, sucking mouth parts to consume the host plant liquids. The salivary enzymes are injected into the plant tissue to partially predigest the tissue. The literal sucking to death of the host plant results in wilting, browning, and eventual death. Both adult and nymphs are piercing, sucking insects that feed on above ground plant tissues, leaving white blotches, which makes leafy crops such as collards and kale unmarketable. Under heavy feeding, pressure points can wilt and die, potentially destroying entire fields of untreated cabbage or collards. Part of what explains the success of these bugs is their low number of natural enemies. They have a few parasitoids and virtually no predators or competitors, meaning it's largely up to gardeners like us to keep their numbers in check. Organic control involves handpicking the insects off the plants. They can be dropped into soapy water to drown them, and being especially careful to remove and destroy all the eggs. Destruction of the crop debris in which bugs overwinter, use of soaps and oil emulsions, handpicking, and trap cropping with attractive plants were recommended controls in the 19th and early 20th century. Squishing on site, as satisfying as it might be in the moment, falls right in line with time-tested approach gardeners have used against the pests for well over a century. Sometimes the old school methods really are the best ones. Catching a handful scattered throughout the row, including a mating pair, is honestly a good sign you caught the problem early before it became a full-blown infestation. And that's it for today's slightly vindictive look at the Harlequin cabbage bug. If you like what you learned, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, happy gardening, happy fish keeping, happy exploring. See you in the next video from Terramata Gardens.